Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Ral, and this week I'm playing around a little bit more with my Richard Petty 70 Superbird project. But that's only because I've been working on my 62 Corvette, and I did get it painted Honduras red metallic. Looking great. Real happy with the way it's coming out here, but this needs to, dry. It's been a day or two, but I'm going to let this dry a whole lot longer, but she's coming out great. But in the meantime, while this is drying, here's the hood and some of the other parts. I got to, work on something else, keep myself busy. So go put this away real quick. So since that's drying, I'm working on this, and I got a few things I can do tonight on it, and I'm playing with it. So for those that aren't following along, this is a Salvinos JR kit here that I was told it's not Junior, it's JR. So working on this, and just using the chassis and kit bashing this into my Johan Superbird here. So working on this a little bit. Now I decided to tape the glass in here just to kind of see. And while I bump these every now and then putting the chassis in, it does seem like they do clear. Tape this in place so that I can see what's going on. That, and I got to remove these wing windows since I've sanded them all out and the race car doesn't have them. So to get an idea where I need to trim, I just take my razor blade and scribe a line while I got it mocked up and taped in place, so I know where it's going to be. So that now I know where to cut. So that kind of prevents that. So while I'm working on a few other things, made taillight covers and everything, but I think I showed those before. Doing a little bit more mock-up. Got this ready for the radiator. This goes around the shroud for it to really snorkel it in there. The radiator itself, air cleaner. I did take the dry sump pan off and wanted to make sure the other pan fit. So the other pan's in there, and I like that better than a dry sump pan because I don't see a dry sump tank. Not really sure what the car is, but this is me mocking it all up. Also filling some of these gaps down here with epoxy putty. As you can see, I worked it, it's hardened, but I haven't sanded it. And I kind of want to remove some of these bulges too. So I got a little bit of sanding work to do, but right now just grafting it in. Oh, and there's some pieces of styrene I glued in here just to fill in, because that was a big old gap right there too. So I still got this to fill in gap-wise to the body on both sides and then extend it. But I haven't really played with any of that. But I did mock these up, these bars, glued that in place. Cleaned it up around here for those bars to go through, and got those. And I want to make this to fill in the rear window. But also got the motor glued in place just to see what it's going to look like. It's all temporary white glue as far as that goes. And I keep getting asked, what do I use for that? Well, just micro clister clear. That's what I've been using. You can peel it off and everything and wash it. But some of this is permanently glued and some of it is just white glue, so I can take it apart. But the engine is mostly white glue. But there's something that concerns me right there. You see how high those oil, the vents right there are? Those breathers? They're pretty high. But that's where it goes in the kit and everything. And the carburetor is kind of high too, and they're above the firewall. So that concerns me. So looking at mock-up and this, so I did find, gluing this in place, that it really doesn't hit that. I got to be careful, but we'll get it in there. So we'll take a look at some of this stuff, mocking it up. Of course, you're doing a project like this, you literally do this 100 times, using the front suspension. And I kind of line it up with the holes there for the scoops that go on the top of the fenders, just to get an idea. And I'll radius these and open them up more like the real car, because it's going to sit lower than that. But I'm pretty happy with the way things are fitting here. But other than, yeah, those breathers, I'm going to have to do something about that. This air cleaner though, That sits really low and tucks down, so let's see. It doesn't fit the carb very well, so I think I got some fitting to do there. But yeah, those, they're definitely going to hit. Oh yeah. So definitely got to do something about that. Whoops. Now I just knocked the motor loose. Okay. Not too bad. Let's get this out. So with that out of the way, the hood's definitely going to clear. Okay. So how about the air cleaner? Really close. Looks like if I get it to sit down square on the carburetor a little better, then that's going to fit too. So yeah, that I can get that to work. So I can work with that. So pretty happy with that. All right. So this, I'll have to bring those breathers down. Probably have to make them sit down a little shorter, or make it go more in front of the fan and the intake instead of as high. One of the other things I was playing with here, the radiator, because this pretty much drops right in here. But I've got this huge open area. But this is right from the Salvinos JR kit, and it pretty much fills up a lot of that. So that's kind of a surprise. I got coolers and stuff to put in there, and it does fit under the hood. So some of this is looking quite promising. Just little areas to work on. You can see the big gaps right there and there. So I'll fill that in. And then of course the massive gap right here. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna, when I cut, maybe I'll cut the gas tank out, move it back a little bit, and then redo it, or make a bigger gas tank maybe. Not sure there yet, but figure something out. Because I know on these B bodies of this year, the gas tanks is narrower and longer this way. But again, how accurate is this to the actual real car? I don't know. I also noticed the radiator support lines right here. I left them in there because I wasn't sure if I was going to use that. But now I'm definitely going to be removing those to clean it up, because you can see all of that. And I plan to paint the whole inside of this Petty blue too, because as you can see, even the cage and the walls there, you're going to see all of it. So I'm pretty happy with that. But here's that where I got to fill in that panel and have it go right there for the package shelf. So I got to fill that in. The trunk's not opening, so I'm not too concerned about putting the gas tank in there. And I do need to put the filler. Let's see, this is falling out, so let's get this out. So getting a few steps here and a few steps back, but I now know that that's not going to work in its current configuration, but I'll figure something out. But I'm open to ideas too, anybody who's kind of messed with this stuff. But everything else seems to be fitting. Just got to trim those out. So that's kind of the next thing I'll do. I'll trim that, do some more of the body work here. In the Petty thing, it's pictured on this side. Like, it's kind of funny. This car has it on this side, but when I look at the box here of the real car, it's on that side. And the picture doesn't look flipped because he's still driving from the driver's side. But and you can use this to get an idea of how high radius they're cut. The wheel openings, you see this one goes right up to the middle of the scoop, where it goes to the bottom of the scoop on here. So it gives me an idea on how high it is, but I'm not going to cut those until I get the suspension fully mocked up, so I can see where the tires actually sit, in case I have to lower the suspension a little more, but I don't think I'll have to. But I'll be filling some more of this stuff in to kind of make the floor look a little bit more uniform and not be so obvious, and fill some of this in. Well, I'm going to do strip styrene there and bend it, or more epoxy putty. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that yet, But I'm just taking a little bit here and a little bit there just to see where everything is at. So figured I would share that with you, show you what's going on, what I'm playing with, and continue on with it there. And get your feedback on this, since this is definitely uncharted territory for me. But everything else is fitting and going in there. Here you can see how well that trimming to get it to fit the body came out as far as the firewall went. But that was a trick in itself. But and I'm not sure if I'm going to fill in that side. I'm not too sure I'm going to worry about that side of it. But anyways, you guys, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments and everything. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time.